why you wanted to start a project like this and why it's led up to where it is?
Sheikh, this idea of wanting to teach books and classes has always been something I loved from a very young age, and it's not something I came up with. It was something I saw from the mashayikh and the ulama that I studied with. When I was young, my parents sent me to Somalia, and I went to an Islamic school over there. The school was called Al Shafi'i. Before I could go into the school, I had to do a year speaking in Arabic. There was a teacher by the name of Ustadh Mahmoud, who was a solid student of knowledge when it came to the Arabic language, when it came to fiqh, hadith. He was very good, Allahu Akbar. And he even got a scholarship to go to Yemen. But for one reason or another, he never managed to go there. And so what happened was, he ended up staying, he ended up staying, and a class was made for him to teach a group of Westerners. So I was in a class with a few Westerners from Canada, from the UK. Well, no, I was only the one from the UK, and one was from Sweden. It was a few of us. And for 1 year, I studied with him Arabic. And I studied it in Ajurumiyya, Arabic grammar. He taught me, he used to speak to us in Arabic. It was a very, very beneficial class. Then I actually enrolled into the school, and I started from Al-Ula Thanawiyya. And I went to Thani Thanawiyya and Thani Thanawiyya, which is 3 years. Now, in there we had Tarbiyya Islamiyya, we had Islamic history. And what the teacher would do was, in the class, is that he knew everything from memory, Sheikh. Or sometimes he had a little note with him. But there was no muqarrar. Muqarrar meaning there's no curriculum given to the students. So the student has to write it from the teacher's mouth directly. Now, I wasn't used to that. Quickly, your teacher speaking, you're writing everything. So that class shaped me in the sense of writing, note-taking, organizing your notes. And that side of the world, and many third world countries as they call it, education is very important. In comparison to what I saw in the UK, education wasn't that important. People would bunk classes, teachers were treated in a very bad way. This was a bit different. Students, even the baddest kid in the class, he would pay attention to all the classes. And he would memorize, because the school will stick your name on the wall when the results come. And everyone's going to see your name there. It was a bit embarrassing. Then my uncle, my mum's first cousin, he took me to a halaqah, a dars, in my local area. And I sat down one day, and that dars was a dars of Sheikh Noor Ali Jama. I sat in the Sheikh's dars, and I remember that day when I first came, he was teaching Kitab al-Tawheed. And he was going through it. He had a program where he started from Thalathatul Usul, and he was making his way up. He had a program in Arabic grammar. He was making his way up. Usul al-Fiqh, fiqh, everything. There was a barnamij going on. And there was once a week, there was a tafsir class that would go. And all of that Sheikh made me understand. I rarely saw the Sheikh do muhadarat.
Like one-off lectures.
One-off lectures here and there. But the bulk of his sessions were books. And the places he gave us reminders were inside the books. And that's where he would give us a little reminder to jihad. And there was a few reminders that were given. The people who would come to that reminder were the same students who were coming and studying the books. So for me, I always saw a reminder was for a person who's basically studying and learning. And every now and then he needs to be reminded of certain things that he or she should uphold. Then I came to the West after Somalia, and then Egypt and Saudi. I came to the West. Now, if I look at the countries I went to, I always found Somalia very unique. The reason why I found Somalia very unique is because the way that the book is explained in Somalia is every word is explained. Every letter is told. The student memorizes the way the teacher teaches. Now I went to Saudi Arabia. I saw ta'liqat. Like a whole 3 pages would be read on the Sheikh, and he would give like a few words. I felt I understood what the Sheikh is saying, but this line, I didn't understand what the Sheikh is saying. I didn't understand this kalam of Ibn Taymiyyah. I know the overall meaning, but what about this line? What does he mean by it? So I always missed that method of studying. Even to the extent, the hamish, the hawashi, the footnote, the i'rab, sarf, everything in it will be mentioned. So that concept of books was instilled at a very young age. And then on top of that, I studied with Sheikh known as, we've done a podcast with him in AMAU, Sheikh Ahmed Mahmoud Ahmed Yaleh. He's known as Sheikh Ahmed Yaleh. This Sheikh, may Allah honor him for dunya wal akhirah. He has set a program in teaching books from beginning. Sometimes I go and I look at it, I have everything in an external hard drive. I'm lost of words. We're talking about thousands of recording. Yani Bukhari, what he taught. Yani Muslim, he hasn't yet. Bukhari, Abi Dawood. He started actually with Abu Dawood. Abi Dawood, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, Al-Nasa'i, Bukhari. He's only got Muslim left. And the reason why he didn't even do Muslim yet is because another Sheikh was teaching Muslim at that time. So he's going to now, inshallah ta'ala, he told me he's going to do Sahih Muslim. He's now done the 6 books of hadith. All the kutub al-aqidah that I possibly can think of, the Sheikh has taught it. Fiqh, hadith, usul, mustalah, ilal hadith, everything. And so this brought a thought to my mind. The English speakers don't have this. They haven't been given this opportunity. A lot of the times what we see in the UK is that they talk about how to seek knowledge. So the person has actually memorized how to seek knowledge and the things to do and don't. Even sometimes some people you meet, they even know the books to study. But then it's not available for me. Where do I study it? Where can I go and study it? So I had a dream very early on to create an institute where a person can come and 50 lessons, 100 lessons, whatever it takes, of, for example, Mustalah al-Hadith, a book in Mustalah, Nukhbatul Fikr. They can listen, they got their text, they go through it, and they learn. The next lesson, they could do the same.
In stages, in steps.
Where the person starts from A and then goes to Z. A to Z. But I couldn't do it. I needed a team. Allah bless me, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah's blessings are many. Very honest, wallahi, loving brothers who came together with me and they helped. I remember I met my brother Shahid, hafidhahullah wa ra'ah, wa ja'ala al-jannata mathwana wa mathwah. And this idea, me and another brother spoke about it, and then he was told about it. And he came to me and he said, I heard you have a dream of going through AMAU. And I said, Yani, yeah, but there's a few obstacles. And Allah bless him, subhanahu wa ta'ala, what it needed for us to do that day, Akhuna Shahid took care of it. He said, Sheikh, just tell me what you want and what needs to be done, and we're going to make it happen. I said to him one thing, I said, Akhi, in the past we've done mistakes. There were shortcomings that happened on our side. We wanted to deliver things, but there was obstacles that we couldn't deliver the work. So in order to do that, we have to show the people that we're here to serve their needs in knowledge and be of their service. Because what people, Sheikh, don't understand is it's an honor for me to teach the people, and it's a blessing of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. By people benefiting and learning, it's a ni'mah for me. It's an opportunity for me. It doesn't raise me higher than them, and it doesn't make me better than them. It just puts me in the service of the ummah. And I ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala that Allah accept it from me and that Allah forgives me for any mistakes or shortcomings or errors I've come with. I told Akhuna Shahid, let's make this, but we have to work hard before we even try to open this institute. We have to make sure everything is done to the best of our ability. And I said, we need one person on board. We need that person to come. Sheikh, wallahi, was
Well, actually, I'm going to tell you, when the idea was presented to me, it really resonated with me. A lot of Dawah projects, there are a lot of really good projects, and we don't want to take away from the amazing projects, online institutes, online universities, learning programs, courses that people can take. It's amazing. But something resonated with me. And what resonated with me, I think, is to do with my experience of learning, going to Medina with a certain vision, and almost realizing that the things that were needed were not quite in place for me at that time. For example, not being able to finish books from beginning to end. A lot of people might have that idea about the Islamic University, but it's not like that. You take a little piece of this book, a little piece of that book, half of this book, maybe the whole of that book if the teacher gets to the end of it. And you end up with little pieces of things. There's a lot of broken knowledge in there, a lot of holes in what you should know. There's a lot of sciences that you never got a chance to learn. For example, specializing in hadith, we got a lot of books in ilm al-rijal, in takhrij, in mustalah al-hadith. But in usul al-fiqh, we didn't even finish waraqat. In reality, and we didn't even finish the amount of text that would be in it. And the student was required to do that in their own time. And that, for me, to see something, to be able to contribute to something where people can study complete books from beginning to end without the pressure of a timetable that says, you need to finish this book in the next 3 weeks. The opportunity to study for all those people who couldn't study. How many people wanted to go to this jamia or this country or that country, but they weren't able to do it. And those people, they have the desire to do it. They have, inshallah, the ability to do it by the help of Allah. But they just didn't get the opportunity to do that. And another thing that resonated with me, Sheikh, to be honest with you, is when I looked at the standard of many of the students coming from the West in comparison to other countries. So we're sitting together with the same Sheikh. We're studying the same book. And I'm asking myself, why are these brothers really understanding a lot more than I understood? And I realized that's because I went in at nearly zero. And they went in having studied these books in their own language before, having sat with the students of knowledge and their graduates who had come back and taught them in details before, having gone through structured programs of knowledge before, and then going to sit with the mashayikh. And for them, what they took from those mashayikh was many, many times more than what I took from them. And I saw that and thought, if we could do something small to start to remedy that problem, to provide opportunity to learn for those people who could not get that opportunity elsewhere, to provide a chance for those people who are starting out on their journey to reach a higher standard, so that when they take that journey and they go on that rihla, that journey for the sake of knowledge, they take more from it because they were at a certain standard to begin with. And to provide access to all those books that we couldn't find, all those subjects that nobody else teaches, and to do so in a way that isn't pressured by a university style syllabus or a curriculum, going back to the classical way. I remember Sheikh, something is profound, wallah, and I think now it's better, people are more aware. But for me, when I first read the books that deal with the way to seek knowledge, it was a complete eye-opener for me to actually realize that there's a method to seeking knowledge, which is really only one method. There may be variations in the books, but the method is one method. Joining between memorization and understanding, taking things with tadarruj, step by step, taking knowledge in all of the funun of Islam, not just in one or two sciences, but across the board, to form a base. From that base, moving through the level of, kind of taking knowledge in a basic way, to getting the dalil, to being able to compare between different opinions, to being able to articulate your own opinions, to specialize, going through that journey with stages. And to be able to contribute something like that for people in the English language, along with a program for learning Arabic, that is what really, really attracted me about Madrasatu Al Umariyyah.